I was under the impression that we were just going to jam. It wasn't until like the second or third show where I kind of figured out, oh, we're not just jamming. But yeah. Yeah. So yeah, here I am now. No, that's not bad.
All right. So we're here with Days on Parade. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Hello, I'm Riss. I sing.
I'm Frankie. I play guitar.
My name is Kieran. I'm the bassist on Days on Parade and the designated emo.
I'm Lucas and I play the drums.
Hold on. What the fuck does designated emo mean?
It means that like I'm probably the nigga in band practice who's just gonna be like, and then also writing or at least trying to. Oh, it's the wrong side. But yeah, it's kind of a joke, but it's also kind of like when the band first started, I was like, I told them I'm gonna make these songs as heavy as I can make them because I don't know, that's just what I like to do. So I kind of just make a joke about it and say like I'm the designated like edgelord of the band that's constantly trying to play metal, even though we're not a metal band.
You're the brown sound. That was if you had listened to Sum 41 back in the day, that was the deal. Was Brown Sound always wanted to play heavier shit.
Oh yeah.
And that's why he left the band.
Well,
and then he came back and realized that was probably as good as it was ever going to get for him.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? Like, I find that, like for at least the stuff that I listen to, it's like, it's definitely got that edge to it, and it's super fast-paced, but there is also an air of, like, I guess, like, happy-go-luckiness to it, for lack of a better phrase. So it's like, I figured if I could, like, if I could come with like a song idea and it's like it goes like this and it sounds like metal, once I bring it to the rest of the guys, they'll kind of like make it a bit more like dancey or a bit more not so fucking meh, you know what I mean? Like that's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, it's like you take like your own personal influence and you bring it to the group, and all of a sudden everybody puts their little touches on it. And
exactly. And then I
turns
think
into a different beast.
Yeah, and I think everyone's happy because I get to headbang, the fans get to dance. Yeah, works in my opinion.
Sick. So why don't you guys tell me about kind of the origin of the band? Because you guys, as a band, have only been around for what, like a year and a half? Like, hasn't been that long, eh?
So the one day I was in my bathroom and I did my hair really nice. And I was like, I gotta take a picture of this for the gram. So I did. And then I was like, what do I caption this? And I posted lead singer looking for a band. And then I put it's still up there. So yeah, and then I put in brackets something like just kidding, not kidding. And then Frankie contacted me. And we kind of like, I went over to his, when he lived in Hamilton, went over and we kind of like tried to write a song and it didn't really like go anywhere, but we were both like, this is a cool vibe. And then from there, I grew up with Lucas and they know each other. And so we all just like, our first band practice, we all just kind of came together and knew from there. So that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I literally didn't know these two like 2 years ago, but Frankie and I, we were in a band previously. It was called Frankie Wood and the Thrifts, and yeah, that was I think that was also about like a year and a half. So we'd already played together and had enjoyed playing together and had already written stuff together. So and I actually remember I think it was like May or maybe June of 2022 when I was just like really itching to just like get some kind of music out. And at first, like Frankie and I were just working on something that I wanted to get out for a while. But then like 2 weeks later, after we had ran through it for the first time, he was like, I met this person and we want to do like a little psych rock thing. Are you in? And so naturally, of course, I was in because, you know, I like to play music. But yeah, so I knew Frankie like from like 2018 from local shows. And so through the band or through Frankie, I met Riz and Lucas pretty much the same day. And yeah. So that's like my perspective from it.
I was duped. I was under the impression that we were just gonna jam. It wasn't until like the second or third show where I kind of figured out, oh, we're not just jamming, but yeah, yeah. So yeah, here I am now. No, that's not bad.
Well, you're a drummer, yeah?
Yeah, I'm a drummer.
Like how long have you been kind of like playing live music and like being in bands and stuff?
I was with a group, I want to say kind of popular around here. I'm hazy on the years, but I was young. Through Ryson's Music, which used to be right over there. I was just playing a little kid band, and we do shows all over, cover songs. So I've had a bit more experience in live performance, and I think it's kind of helped. It's helped take the edge off of playing bigger shows now. It just feels like audience practice, but no. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the point I was getting at is, I mean, if you're a drummer, just being duped into joining a band.
Oh, yeah.
You should be used to that by now.
Yeah.
Everyone needs a drummer, man. Come on.
Yeah, you're right.
I just want to say that, yeah, I guess I had messaged Lucas and I was like, hey, do you want to come jam? Just like with some friends. And then I didn't really tell him that we were thinking of making a band. And then, yeah, he kind of found out when Frankie called it a band in front of him. And then when we were going back, we were driving back from Hamilton and he was just like, oh, so this is a band. And so that's how Lucas found out that we were in a band together.
I think it was also like when I brought up making a band name too. I think that was when Lucas was also like, we're naming the band. Like, yeah, but it was really good. I think for me anyways, very creatively stir crazy at the end of the bulk of the pandemic. And you know, I'd been playing music. I've been in and out of bands for almost like 10 years since I was in mid-high school. And it came together really perfectly because I think so many people were itching to play music again. I know I was. And by the time we started writing songs, there are people that I had known from previous projects and previous shows in this city and in other cities that it was easy for me to reach out to them. It was easy for them to reach out to me. And we kind of, we started kind of just getting noticed by the local friends really quickly, which was nice. It felt like being welcomed back after spending a couple years inside. So that was nice.
I don't even think we had like 3 songs written before Frankie was like, hey, we got a show offer. Like I think we like officially got together and started like practicing and rehearsing in like maybe like June or July. And then yeah, within like 2-3 weeks we were like, all right, so we got a show in September. So like we're rehearsing like twice a week now and like doing this, right? And yeah, and like we did it, which was like very like, I don't know, I remember thinking, oh, we have a show coming up and it's in like a month and a half, like are we gonna be ready for that? But I don't know, you fellas put in work, I guess. So
Was that like the house show?
No,
or was that out? So that was after, eh?
Yeah, we our first show was at Doors Pub in Hamilton. You know, I've played there a bunch before in previous projects and stuff, and it was just a nice little first thing. And I was surprised by how many friends and folks from St. Catharines and Niagara came to Hamilton to see us. That was lovely. Yeah.
That's the place with the tacos, yeah?
Oh, they've got legendary tacos. Of course.
Yeah, shout out tacos. So you mentioned that you guys were brainstorming for names, and that's how Lucas kind of partially found out that this was a band. How'd you actually decide on the name, and like, is there a meaning behind it?
I made it up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was an ADHD moment for Frankie.
ADHD. Oh yeah. I mean, I thought the syllables sounded really nice. No, he's got something nice to say.
yeah. But what that is how it came about was Frankie and I think we're in his room one day and we were talking about band names and he was saying, yeah, I like it when like there are like aesthetic syllables like da 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 ba ba da, you know, and then he said, so I don't know, I really like Days on Parade, and so I heard it, and obviously it rolls off the tongue very nicely. But the reason why I gravitated towards it and why I had urged for that to be the name of the band is because, like, kind of going back to COVID and having all of that like pent up like creativity that you weren't able to get out. It felt like this band was sort of like a way to liberate at least myself from that like that period where there just was nothing going on. I didn't go to any shows. I didn't play any music. And during COVID, it felt like the days marched on, so to speak. So like Days on Parade kind of is like a bit of like an allusion to, for me, an allusion to COVID and how the days seem to just go on and blend into one. And this is sort of like, for me, my liberation from that.
You gotta keep trying.
Yeah. So yes, the name came about just because it sounded cool, but I think I push for that because I think it had the potential to have really cool meaning to it.
That I think has a lot more thought than any band name I've ever had. So no, honestly, the whole idea of just like rhythmically the way it rolls off your tongue is very true. It's a very catchy name, and I think that's why everyone knows it, at least in Niagara, and hopefully soon. Yeah, worldwide, exactly. Yeah. So describe your sound. What you guys sound like. I guess if I had to say, I mean, it's like garage rock earworms. That's kind of, that's what I hear when I listen to you guys.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. The default answer that I give to anyone, and I don't even really know if this makes sense, but also music doesn't need to make sense, and genres are it's made up anyway. But I would always say like indie alternative rock with a lot of psychedelic and punk influences. Man, that earworm, that's a really good way of putting it, because I do think a lot of our songs have that like catchiness to it. But I think just based off of our influence, whether it be through like the modern psychedelic scene, or like you're saying, like the neo-psych scene, or for me, I like I said, I listen to a lot of punk, listen to a lot of like metal, some of that stuff. So, you know, it's those influences that are being put together into a very, very pretty package. So that's how I would describe it.
That's awesome. No, I think I agree completely. My goal has always been to kind of dig into that kind of like fun, more like psych rock sound, and we all come together really well. I mean, I think all of us listen to like a bit of metal too, and like a bit of punk stuff, and injecting a bit of heavy, a bit of thrash into what we do is really important. I want it would be cool for one day when we have like maybe a couple more records, you know, you could maybe hear like some are more heavy than others, some are like more like trippy than others. And I think that I'm excited to like show people more music from Days on Parade, because I hope that that'll be a way that we can define ourselves.
I promise I'll shut up in a second, but like I feel like when you first start out as a band, if you're like playing any kind of rock, you gotta get that initial like just angst out. Like in my head, I'm like, all right, let me hear all of the shit that I've been wanting to play since I was in high school. Like, let me get all that out. After that, then I'm gonna chill out and like try and do something that's a bit more like artistic and psychic. And I feel like I'm already getting to that point where it's like, yeah, I want heavy shit, but I also want shit that's like, you know, the shit that like you listen to when you want to. Can I swear? I've been doing that this entire time. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah. I think we were already talking about this. How like in one of the last videos we posted, like 5 seconds in, I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But you know, like the shit that you listen to when you like when it's nighttime and you look up at the stars and contemplate your entire existence. Like, I want to get to that for sure. But I guess in conclusion, I feel like I gotta get out that fucking. That edge, man.
You heard it here first. The jazz album is coming next.
Yeah, no, I like that. Rock, I think in its essence is supposed to be primal. Like, you know, it's supposed to just be natural and whatever
Something that you can
comes to you.
naturally scream when you're performing, you know? Like, that's what's fun about it. Where it's like, if sometimes we'll be up on stage and like we have a couple moments where like, because this was my first band, and we would be up on stage and like it's really high energy, right? But like I would kind of be not comfortable enough to completely let loose, and then even in practice, Kieran would be like, you should just scream in this part. And so I'd be like in Lucas's basement with his like parents upstairs, just like, ah! But then because of that, it's become like a lot more natural. And like I get up there and I'm comfortable enough to just really get into it and just do whatever feels natural. And it's the kind of music that allows me to do that. And so if I'm like feeling a lot of, emotions, whether it be like good or bad, usually it's all good on stage. I don't think I've ever gone up there and been having even a bad day, but like if I was, I know that that'd be a way to kind of get it out. I could just scream if I want, and it adds to it,
Yeah, that's like, I think especially for vocalists, something that a lot of people don't realize is how much it takes to just physically push yourself. And that's like, that takes work, mentally, just to get to the point where you feel like it's even possible for you to do. Like,
it's just hard to get away from like, I think for not just vocalists, just like everyone up there when you're being perceived, it's hard to be able to be in a state where like you don't care what people think of you, and like I guess what's good for me is that like when I'm up there I can do whatever I want, I can dress however I want, because like it gives me the excuse to like you can't judge me right now, like you're here like watching a show. So it's like nice because I think it's the most like authentic self I can be without fear of judgment,
Speaking of pushing yourselves, how the hell did you guys manage to plan a month-long tour this summer? Like,
Hi. Well, I feel like I keep bringing it up, but before Days on Parade, I had done other projects, and I used to really enjoy kind of traveling, and I would book venues to perform just acoustic, just myself. If I wanted to kind of get away from home, go out to the East Coast, go wherever. And I kind of like started really enjoying that. And if I could put anything second to music as my favorite thing about being in a band, it's going somewhere. It's like traveling and just going to a city that isn't normally your like niche, and just meeting just a completely different crowd and trying to show them what you can do and hoping for the best. That's really special to me. So I was very excited to finally get a chance to do that with a full band again and bring everybody out on like a big trip. So I got to start early for those kind of things. So I think I started it in about January. The tour itself was mid-July to early August, and it involves collecting the emails of what venues I know exist. It's DIY tour booking, so you just email the venues and hope for a reply. And you kind of have to keep kind of playing this back and forth, because, a venue's going to get back to you and they're going to be like, well, what day do you want? And you're kind of like, well, I don't know yet. The other venue hasn't let me know. And you're kind of juggling like 18 different contacts, waiting for them all to give like a coherent lineup of available days. It's never going to turn out exactly how you want it to, but over time, usually like shockingly last minute, it's like a month away, and then finally that last show, it's like confirmed. Yes, it's the gap's full, and then you can comfortably go on your own. But then there's also booking the other bands too. I mean, we're not under a label or anything. Nobody but us are finding the local talent, and nobody outside of Southern Ontario really knows much about us. So we're, you're planning somewhere like Prince Edward Island, and you got to kind of go on Instagram, see who's popular, see what's bumping in their scene, and just DM a couple bands, and again, hope for the best.
so basically what you're saying is like, you just got to go get it.
Get it?
Yeah, you just got to go
You just gotta go get it,
and
like-
then like just check off the boxes.
Yeah, like it's not really about like you anybody could do it, I guess. You just need to kind of like do it. You gotta get it. Because you can be a band nobody has ever heard of. You could be a band that has not even played in your own home city once. And if you do that, you can book a tour. You can book a DIY tour if you really want to.
Yeah, Matt Jekyll's gonna love to hear about that.
Lose a bunch of money.
That's his whole MO, is that you just got to go do things and you got to make things happen. If you want to make it happen, put in the legwork, learn how to do it right, and just go get it. Yeah, that's pretty sick. Did you guys have any like favorite dates on that tour? Like any
Let's
shows
go like a
or
line.
venues?
Oh, I don't know yet.
That's a sort of a big question.
Oh yeah, come on. But you lived it. Well, just name one, I guess.
Well,
name one.
I'm not sure about like shows themselves. Like I'll probably think of one while people are talking. But I remember my favorite probably show would be PEI, because it was just, we played at Baba's Lounge, and I'm assuming most people have not heard of it if you haven't like been to PEI. But it's the tiniest, weirdest stage that like you are literally like not even a foot off the ground, and it's skinny, and it kind of goes like, it's a tiny attic, like
It's not a stage.
it's not a stage.
It's not a
It's
stage,
not.
eh?
And
They take the tables where people eat out of the way, you know?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it's the kind of thing where you go up there, and like every band has had this, like if you've played shows, you've seen the stage, you've gone into a venue and been like, how the fuck are we gonna play that? You know, like how are we gonna set up the drum kit on that? And so we kind of had that, but we also had like the nicest day in PEI beforehand. I swam in the ocean. I think we all did except for Lucas. Lucas put his legs in the ocean. And then like we walked around PEI. I had the best potatoes of my life. I was like feeling great. And then we go to this venue, and we weren't sure, like obviously we don't know how many people are going to come to the show. And then we see the stage, and we're like, how are we going to do this? And so we literally played, like I was on the corner, or I think Frankie, you were on
we're both in a corner. I was in a corner.
Yeah, so we literally all played beside each other. And but then like it was a really, really good show. Like there a ton of people showed up, and people were moving. It was so much fun. And so it was like a great end to just already a great day. And that's the farthest away from home that we'd been. And I haven't been there since I was like 9 years old. So that was just really special. It was kind of like, I don't know. I was like, it was a really like big reminder of like why we put in so much work and like time and effort and emotion and money to do it. Like it was just really like eye-opening.
I second PEI, and for every reason that Riss said, it's a great place to play. Baba's Lounge is awesome. I know, like, again, small place, but loads of like Canadian icons have played there, because it is the only place you play if you're a small like alternative band. Like they had the poster for like when Mother played there. I think like probably like Sunfire or something played there at one point. I don't know, but I really enjoyed somewhere a bit closer to home. I really enjoyed our Ottawa date. We played House of Targ, fantastic, like metal punk kind of arcade basement, cool lights. They had Guitar Hero. They had like old like NES style arcade cabinets and stuff. Just really good stuff. They had pierogies. I love pierogies. I am Polish. And it also, again, that was a great show. Loved the local support too. I love the local support on like every show. But again, it's hard to narrow, because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, oh, but I had different kinds of fun at every single venue that we played at. And also we got to meet really interesting people, really talented musicians in like every city. And that continues. I mean, even here in St. Catharines, it's good to always, there's no shortage of local bands in St. Catharines. And every time we play here, we meet some new bands. I mean, I like to go to the Warehouse and I see like a band I've never heard of. And then suddenly I'm like checking their Instagram, like, oh, they're in it. They're part of the shtick that's going on here. I'd also say the end of our tour, the last show here at Warehouse was absolutely fantastic. The homecoming event, you want that to be special after a trip like that. And like everybody who came out, delivered.
In terms of, okay, so yeah, first and foremost, our St. Catharines show was the best show that we played on tour, which is to be expected. Hometown, most amount of people, most amount of energy. We played our best. It was last show on the tour, so like we're going to do that. But usually, like, I'm trying to think about shows that were kind of away from our home, and there are 3 that stick out for me personally. One of them being the Fredericton show, just because holy shit, they showed so much support for us. The way it was put to me was that they don't get a lot of musicians coming out there, so whenever someone does, you know, they show a lot of support, and like it wasn't just like people hanging around with their arms crossed or anything. Like they were actually like had banging and moving around, and that was really good. Another one that I think is probably just like a personal favorite was oh my god, I forget what the venue was called, but we played St. John. Wasted Day Brewery. That one was really fun just because that I think we had the most amount of moshing at that show.
Photo of you dancing.
Yeah. That was really, although that was like one of our smallest stages we have ever fucking played on. Holy shit, it was hard. And it was dark. But the overall energy I was really fucking with. Plus, the city is really, really beautiful. And then, oh my god, yeah, no, I think in terms of an overall like vibe, in terms of like the venue and like how many people we had and all that shit, House of Targ in Ottawa was, it's pretty hard to be honest. But those are like probably my top 3 like memorable shows that we played throughout tour.
So I think my favorite show was Gus's Pub. Shadow Gus's Pub is a gambling den. It was really fun. Yeah, it was good to play there. I think it was Indian restaurant. Yeah.
Where was this?
Halifax. Halifax is a nice city. Not as nice as Fredericton. Yeah, that was my favorite show. Oh, Rimouski was fun.
So what I'm hearing is get out of Ontario and go play out east.
Yeah.
Except for House of Targ. House of Targ is legendary. I've already heard about it.
Just get out.
They also give you half, like you don't have to, for House of Targ, a little House of Targ promo, you get half off everything. Or like there's not, it might be half off the food and then like 70% off drinks. So you can get like brogies for like $3 or something or $4. So yeah, play it for like, you know, obviously it's a great venue, but like, goddamn.
Just for the experience.
Yeah,
you gotta go to House of
truly,
Targ.
truly.
Go play House of Targ.
It's funny. I feel like we're doing like a big local band sin by like saying what we liked most. I'm like, oh, sorry guys, we didn't shout out, but everywhere was awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, I mean,
Even if Fredericton's more beautiful than Halifax. Sorry to my friends in Halifax.
you can't like always keep that illusion that, you know, every show you play in every city you hit up is like a gem. Like, no,
Yeah.
some of them are gonna stick out more than others, and you know, it's always personal.
Also, just like a quick thing for the Halifax show, my mom, my aunt, my cousin, and my brother showed up and surprised me for that one. And it was funny because it was the weirdest venue ever. And like that was like my first time my brother had ever seen us. And he was like, "This is cool." But yeah, so that show was also special because of that. Like I like cried. But it was cool. Yeah.
Well, now that you guys have, you know, you've got that experience under your belt, you come back, and I feel like there have been a number of really sick shows locally, just here in St. Catharines since you got back. You had, first of all, your album release with the Dwindles here at the NAC, and then you had Girl on Girl at Warehouse, and now we've got Trash the Halls coming up, obviously, and shout out Medium Baby. Vertigo is going to come up in February, and that's going to be a banger as well. I'm like so stoked just to see how that's even going to look. But now that you've kind of been around, how has that kind of changed your perspective on what like the Niagara scene means to you and what it means to just kind of come from here?
I feel like we definitely are. We've solidified our presence in the scene, and it's cool because we get offered like the coolest shows now that it's like I would be like so excited to just attend them. Like, and so now to know that I just get so giddy kind of thinking about like, I can't believe someone wants us playing this. Like I get to like be a part of actually making these things happen. And that's just like, I just feel so like special and honored for that, because I'm just to be a part of something that is just I respect so highly and that I would just like love to go to just as like someone who just loves music and loves kind of like obviously supporting local. Yeah, I don't know. It's like kind of indescribable the feeling that I get from that.
I think like every city, needs a strong music scene. That's what people say. That's what I've heard, and it seems to be true. And you go to a lot of different places and you see, like, you get a taste of their music scene when you visit as like an out of towner. But whenever I come back to St. Catharines, I'm really thankful to be playing music here. I think that there is an amazing amount of musicians for the population size. Like, if we're talking per capita in here, like there's a lot of local art happening. There's a lot of promotion. There's a lot of options for DIY venues. Of course, Routine Exploits is doing a great job of kind of handling that. Lots of cool DIY shows in very unique spaces. But yeah, yeah, I'm messing up. I'm like, I lost my train of thought. It's okay. I guess I just wanted to say that St. Catharines has a great thing going, and I'm really happy to be part of it. It's just I've always wanted to too. I was living in Hamilton before here, and I've ever since I played shows here off and on, because I grew up in like Grimsby, I was always like, yeah, living in St. Catharines would be nice. There's a lot of good artists out here that I want to hang out with. So
I think we had like I don't know if anything had come of it, but there was like an interview that we were gonna do on tour, and one of the questions was like, how does it feel to be like part of the new wave of Niagara artists? And that like, well, the first time I heard that, I was like, nigga, what? It's like it felt weird, like, but that is kind of what this feels like, and I'm not gonna lie, man, it kind of feels like it's all, like part of the plan, which isn't to say that like. Which not from a like I always knew I was gonna make it doing this, but more from like a this feels like what we were meant to do, and so then to go out, have such a good reception, be able to come back and have an even like better, like having even better reception when we're here, and being able to keep going and keep getting put on bills that are really really cool. I mean, it's a dream come true, to be honest. And I don't know, yeah, it's really important. It's I think St. Catharines, the artists here really like to prop each other up, and we like to put on fun ass events. So it's nice.
Niagara's a fun place. It's a good place for artists, and it's humbling to be part of that community. It's humbling to have fans that even listen to our shit. It's not like we're doing anything like life changing. We're just making shit, but it's nice that people care. Thanks, Niagara.
Dude with the most wholesome answer, like.
I think, can I just add one last point? Like kind of when Kieran was talking, it popped up in my brain that like I obviously love what we do, and part of the band for like myself, I make music because it just makes me feel good, and then to do that and then see that people actually like it, like to see people dance and to see like people that like I don't even know, like I've been at shows and then we'll sing like Bad Cowboy, and like there's someone that I don't recognize that's like singing parts of it. It's
people will come up and ask for pictures.
Yeah, that's so funny to me.
I went down the street.
As flattered as I am to take a picture, fucking why?
I'll like take their phone. I'm like, okay, like do you want to like? I'll like take a picture of them. I'm like, yeah, of course I can take your picture. But yeah, it's like, it's so weird because it's I don't know. It's just like such a special feeling when you see someone that that they love your music, and it's like you like it as much as I do, and that's just a really cool connection to have with someone that it's so unparalleled to anything else.
Yeah, I think something that I'm thinking about right now is like when we're talking about that new wave of Niagara artists, man, you don't just like, those waves don't happen by just having people join it. It doesn't just exist already. You know, people got to drive it. So it only happens because people like you guys are going to go out and, you know, go get it. Actually just start doing things, you know?
There is beauty to be had here, so let us realize said beauty.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Yeah. Nah, really, like, when I think about what we're trying to do, you know, not just with routine exploits, but kind of just with the community in St. Catharines and, like, trying to give a space for the arts. You know, we want to empower people and make people feel like it isn't all that hard to put yourself out there. And if you believe in what you're doing, that, like, there is opportunity for you. And, like, yeah, it's good for people to see that others are already kind of going out and doing it and just kind of setting an example for them. But also with an event like Trash the Halls, for example, you know, we want to get the youth involved, get young people involved, give them the opportunities, and also show them that, like, you don't have to seek out your opportunities in, you know, kind of like existing infrastructure and all the shit that, you know, you see everyone else doing, like, that you don't have to kind of follow in those steps all the time.
Well, I was just going to say, like, I think the value of Niagara specifically in the art scene that, you know, we've played shows in other places and, you know, we say, like, obviously places have, like, all art is valuable. But I think that what makes Niagara special is, and this could be completely biased because I'm born and raised here, but a lot of every kind of like label or show promoter or like the parts of the music scene that aren't the musicians happen to usually also be people who are musicians. So you get this network of just caring, and it's not people who are just trying to make a buck off of musicians who tend to not be able to. It's, you know, I think we've all played like shows that we've felt screwed over from, you know, where like you have a shitty show promoter and, you know, you weren't paid enough for. That just doesn't happen here. I've never had that happen to me here because these are people who care about art and they care about music because they're artists and musicians themselves. And that's what's valuable to me about the Niagara scene, is that it's just a network of people who just care about each other and want each other to succeed because they know what it's like and they see the value in it, not the profit in it.
Yeah, there's, like, one thing I love about the scene here, especially, like, being, you know, Toronto born and raised. When it came out here, it's like it's not such a fragmented music scene. There aren't all these little niches within the music scene as much as a big city. Out here, it's kind of just like one circle. And it's not just the music, it's arts in general. Anybody who's kind of just got a creative spirit, like, we're all part of the same circle. So out here, if you're shitty, we're going to roast you. You know? Like, yeah, you're going to quickly find yourself without allies, you know, without people to work with if you're not going to be about it, you know?
I like, it's cool because you brought up like wanting to bring like youth out, and I think that's a really cool thing to think about because, you know, we definitely have a strong scene of artists, but there's definitely a lot of people growing up, people going to high school, or people even going to like Brock University who have like no idea what's going on down here. Because it's like when you're growing up and you're figuring stuff out, you know, you might be into music, but you might not be going downtown and seeking it out. You know, I think people need to know that there's like more things than like a bar down the road that doesn't ever have music, or like a club that like just, nothing against DJs, of course, but, you know, just like a dance club. You know, there's other places you can go, and there's places where you can meet people who are interested in music. And I think that's a strong goal of anybody who takes the reins of trying to promote music out here. So Trash the Halls, let's do it.
Also, I just wanted to add quickly to that when because I grew up in Thorold, and I actually, like, I always had this need to make music, and I just didn't think that anything cool was really going on in Niagara because there wasn't stuff that was really open to people my age. And so I, like, in 2020, right before the pandemic hit, I remember I was going out with my friends and we stopped into Mate, and that was the first time I'd ever been in there. And I went in and there was like a show playing and like a vintage market, and then it was just packed. There were so many people, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, I didn't know Niagara had stuff like this. And then we went into the pandemic, and so I couldn't really do anything like during that. So coming out, I just had this, like, was like, there is stuff here that I just didn't realize, because again, like if stuff isn't open to younger people, then you're gonna feel pretty alone in like your artistry, which I did. Like growing up, I really did. And so that's why it's so important to me now. And like if Niagara can be better with like opening things up to younger people so that they know that there's a community for them out there, then we should 100% do it and really kind of drive it, because I just feel so much more at home here now, even though like I've lived here my whole life. So
Church. Yeah. I guess last thing, you guys have any shout outs you want to give? Anybody you want to thank or, put on blast?
Always Josh from Suitcase Studios, because he's the engineer that helped us with the album. So I always got to give a shout out to Josh. Oh God, I obviously I want to give a shout out to like anyone who's ever played with us or even like platformed us, but that is so many people. And then generic, but anyone who listens to our stuff and enjoys it and understands where we're coming from and all that good stuff. Oh my God, hold on. Shout out to Lucas's parents. Yeah. Oh my God. No, for real. Like if it weren't for those people, holy shit. I feel like they are like the sovereign glue holding like, not holding everything together, but shout out to them. But no, anyone who in some shape or form has been on this, on the journey with us thus far, thanks for dancing with us.
It takes a special kind of person to let your kid play the drums.
Yeah, really. Shout out our fans, I guess. Thanks. Yeah. Shout out my parents. Shout out Rick Gratton, it's my drum teacher and like second dad, well of knowledge. Shout out Thomas from Kentucky.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's a huge one.
Yeah. I can't think. I can't think of anyone else.
I second everything everyone has said and raise you double on Lucas's parents. Just great people giving us a practice space. We've got like apartment space, tiny. Like Kieran's out in Grimsby. Lucas is at the cradle of life for.
I thought you were just gonna dox me for a second.
Lucas address. No, Lucas has the cradle of life for Days on Parade by giving us a basement for now.
Thanks.
Until we need to find another basement, but it's good stuff.
yeah, of course, Lucas's parents, like his mom is probably working on the website, the Days on Parade website as we speak. But yeah, I mean, shout out to, I think, all of our parents, and like mine, especially like personal shout out to them. But also I want to say shout out to like my friends specifically, because from the beginning, they have been so supportive every single time I have a show anywhere around here, including like, they can't come to a show in Hamilton or Toronto, they will text me and apologize. And, they're honestly like, my biggest supporters are, I think, my friends, and that's really special. So special shout out to them.
I forgot Mo Brown Gratton. She's also drum teachers. Yeah, equally important to my upbringing as Rick Gratton. They're important people. I got to bring them up.
Yes. I think that's it.
Yeah, I actually got to add one, even though this isn't my thing. But hey, on behalf of all artists in Niagara, got to thank the Niagara Artist Center too, even for letting us shoot here. After party for Trash the Halls is going to be here, literally giving us a home and giving us this like crazy space to work with.
Yeah, they helped us put on the album release show, which was so important to us, and they were genuinely just like so easy and accommodating and supportive to work with. So yeah, endless gratitude to that and to everything they do to support artists around here.
Everyone should become a member.
Yeah, I hear they're trying to buy a little hub, so people check that out, please.
That's the sales pitch right there. Everyone should become a member of the NAC.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's not that expensive. Come on. What are you waiting for? All right. On that note, thanks for doing this, guys. Oh, heck yeah. Yeah. Can't wait for December 16th, Trash the Halls. It's going to be such a vibe. Thanks, guys. All right.
Thank you.